Why?
further
Why?
away from the noises.
Just kill me, bro.
Much like the level before,
Oh,
try not to look in the direction of these things, because you never know how hostile they may be.
Welcome back to the arcade. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the back room
Place. And I don't think there's ever been a more relevant time in this channel's history to make a statement like that. But one of the things that has always scared me the most about this world is when it glitches.
That plane looks like it's just hovering. It looks like a big one as well.
It's been a topic that I've briefly mentioned on my channel
I'm guessing
before,
that's real.
that every so often something will happen that breaks the rules of reality. Planes hovering and doppelgangers are two examples of this, and surely most would be at least a little creeped out by experiencing these.
They gotta be his
But
brother.
what happens when these glitches get more serious? What happens when you glitch out of reality completely? Well, if this happens to you, you may find yourself in a place where no man should ever go. A never-ending prison of rooms that exists outside our world that's now your new home. And if it sounds scary, maybe you'll take comfort in knowing that at least you won't be alone.
Sheesh. I'm freaked out already, man. So technically there should be, what was that? There should be multiple people in the back rooms.
The following picture was posted to 4chan that caught the attention of many. The picture was of what we now know as the Backrooms.
So this originally started as a meme photo, right?
The emptiness, the tone, just gave people bad vibes. And summed up, the photo was incredibly unsettling. Along with the photo, a caption was added that claimed that the Backrooms go on for an impossible distance, and every room
it's infinite,
looks
right?
the same. It is said that there are a few ways to wind up trapped in these Backrooms. Some say that they can be accessed through your dreams, or even seen in visions. Because of this, many claim to recognize the picture, and even felt some sort of nostalgic fear when seeing it. But others claim that the only true way to get there is much more difficult, and it requires a tremendous amount of luck, or perhaps in this case,
who would want
the
to
exact
go?
opposite. It's theorized that every object we interact with in this world is clipped to our reality. So for example, when you bump into a wall, you collide with it, and you bounce off of it. But going back to glitches in our reality, it is said that, on occasion, objects within our world will no-clip. This is something that happens often in video games, where a part of the map becomes no-clipped.
I'm with you so far.
It, you go right through it, and you sometimes end up falling right off the map.
Like when you play Warzone and you get under the map.
The player is stuck, still inside the game, but in an endless void beneath the map.
Okay.
In the real world, people believe that some objects can become no-clipped from reality. A wall will appear darker than the others around it, or you'll find a door that you're certain there should be nothing on the other side. If you have a keen eye, you can notice these things and avoid them at all costs.
But you just walk into a neighbor's door and you're gone from reality?
Unknowingly interact with these objects, likely thinking nothing of the implications that are soon to come. And much like a character in a video game, if you interact with a non-clipped object, you fall off the map. And one could imagine that it's incredibly confusing and terrifying to go from existing in one world to instantly being dropped into another, with nothing but millions of square miles of empty rooms on either side of you. But this is your reality now, and it's where your journey into the Backrooms begins.
There's only 3 levels. So I see all these games and like videos talking about level 100 and shit. So I'm guessing that's all bullshit. There's only 3.
Same as the last, with only the slightest of variations. The carpet that covers the level is moist and creates a persisting scent. In the beginning, the only sounds that can be heard is the consistent loud buzzing of the old fluorescent lights.
Dude, I'm telling you, I told this story in my last video.
You'll start to realize how big the area actually is.
I used to work for State Farm.
To another and another. You start to wonder, how big of an area could this actually be? And how could this even be possible?
And it's
Many
this
will start
giant
to run
building.
And sprint through the rooms, thinking that this might get them out of this maze faster.
Just like
But
this.
it's no use. And after running around for seemingly an eternity, you'll finally realize that you're likely going to be stuck in here for a while. What exactly this place is not known.
I gotta get this story off. Yeah, so I used to work at State Farm as a insurance guy. Anyway, so every State Farm building is this giant. It's this giant building. It's like a mall essentially. The parking lot is like a football field. And anyway, we all in the same fucking red uniforms. Giant building. Anyway, but when you're there, and that's the first time I ever watched a Backrooms video, for me, and for others that I've met, it felt like you was, now that I know, in the Backrooms, because it's just like an endless building full of rooms. They all look the same, and the most terrifying thing is we all had to sit at cubicles. They all had the fluorescent lights, and as the time is winding down, if the phone isn't ringing towards the end of the day, because you can't really talk because they want you to keep quiet, all you hear is the fluorescent buzzing and your feet on that carpet. I remember sitting there, this is before I quit and said, fuck this. Just with my head back on my chair like this, looking up at the light, and I felt like I was in literal prison. So when I first saw the Backrooms, it's the first thing that I thought about. I was like, holy shit, this reminds me of my time at State Farm, which wasn't long. It was only like a week. I didn't take that shit at all. But yeah, that's my story.
And traversing a place like this would likely cause anyone to slowly lose their minds. It's believed that not many will survive this first level, and that's for a few reasons. Either they lose the will to carry on, or they encounter something.
That's what I was going to wonder. What about the entity?
You may find yourself encountering humanoid creatures. After walking for hours and maybe even days, just imagine the horror of turning the corner and seeing something standing there.
Holy shit.
That isn't human. These creatures are known as hounds, and they look like disfigured humans.
You said hounds or howlings?
They make a low rumbling noise, which will serve as one of the only indications that you're near them before it's too late. On this level, these creatures are supposedly incredibly dangerous.
Well, yeah.
If you happen to notice one, slowly back away in the opposite direction, and whatever you do, don't look at it.
In the opposite direction.
If you're lucky enough to survive your encounters with these creatures and the never-ending maze,
look at the stain on the ceiling.
You may have a chance at escaping this level. Every so often, as you walk through these identical rooms, you'll find a wall that is slightly darker than the others. This is an indication that this too has been no-clipped, and it's possible that running into this wall will take you back to the world you knew before, and there you'll be able to continue living your normal life.
So the game makes sense. That's why you're looking for a wall to get you back.
There's no guarantee to where walking through that wall will take you, and no clipping again in the Backrooms runs the risk of taking you further down to a spot that no one has ever seen before, where the beings are much, much more hostile.
What the hell?
Also,
so you can go into the wrong wall,
like this
no clip
could
again.
Take you back to the start of level 0, where you'll have to start your journey all over again.
Oh my
which means
god!
Another cycle of repetitive torture. For that
There's
reason,
no way.
This is obviously a gamble, and one that many would choose not
There's
to
no
take.
way.
Chicken made out of plants for people.
It's unknown how the transition from level 0 to 1 takes place. Some believe that you stumble upon a door, a hallway, a staircase, or even an elevator, which takes you to this next level, while others believe the scenery around you subtly starts to change, until eventually you are in a completely different space. Believers of this theory state that after roughly 4 days of traveling, the bright yellow fluorescent lights begin to flicker, till the space around you gets darker and darker. Eventually it gets pitch black, only for the light to come back on and reveal the change in scenery. But however you wind up there, the dangers on this level are much greater than the one before.
Level 1.
After days of walking in a seemingly endless loop, you might actually welcome level 1, because at least it's something different. No longer is there yellow wallpaper, but instead the walls are made of concrete. The floor on this level isn't the signature carpet
as
of
hell.
the one before it. Much like the walls, this too is concrete. A deep rumbling of machinery can be heard throughout this entire floor, as well as the creaking noises coming from unseen rooms. The hum of the fluorescent lights is still there, but it's greatly masked by the other noises. And in this floor, the lights are known to fail quite often. The lights will flicker at many spots, and will often shut off completely and leave you in complete and total darkness.
Holy shit. Oh, I'm stressing out right now.
This is when the creatures on this level come out. You won't be able to see them, but you'll know when they're close.
No way,
These creatures omit a disturbing, distorted, screaming sound as they drift through the darkness. If you hear them, quickly navigate to another room further away from the noises.
Just kill me, bro.
Much like the level before, try not to look in the direction of these things, because you never know how hostile they may be. Part of what made level 0 so scary was the isolation of it all. The idea that it is only you and just a few other creatures within this labyrinth.
Just a few other creatures. Yeah,
and in many
no
ways,
problem.
the same fear is prevalent in level 1, except it's amplified by random bouts of darkness and a greater number of hostile beings. And things only get amplified more as we head to level 2,
Motel right
the final level we'll be discussing today. As you walk through level 1, the walls around you will begin to change. The vast rooms will become
dirty watching this
to the point where you're walking in long, continuous hallways. The fluorescent lights are amplified to the point that the buzzing becomes even louder, and the heat from them causes the temperature to soar over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my God,
the hallways are claustrophobic and resemble service tunnels.
Claustrophobic and hot.
And machinery lining the walls. Pretty much any being you encounter on this floor is hostile, and your only chance of escaping, once you see a figure, is to run the opposite way.
What you running to, though?
Look back. To many,
I'm not gonna look back for the thumbnail, you know what I'm saying?
Level of the Backrooms. It's a fairly unexplored and mysterious place that features no real exit points. Your chances of ever escaping the Backrooms, in general, is incredibly low, but your chances of escaping level 2 is apparently nearly impossible.
Imagine you escape level 2.
The few that have supposedly survived this level,
you leave that thing.
Did so by simply accepting the situation,
that's all you can do.
Totally calm,
and
imagining the Backrooms as their home. That's your only chance of escape, and if it doesn't work, then your fate is pretty much sealed.
So you're saying you just gotta believe?
Even after all the pain and the wear that you've gone through in levels 0 and 1, this is where your journey into the Backrooms end.
Is it real?
The Backrooms are something that genuinely creep me out.
Yeah,
that's something that isn't always easy to do. The psychological horrors of traversing such a vast and terrifying landscape out of the reach of reality is a horrifying thought. But is there actually any truth to this? Are the Backrooms actually real? Well, it appears that this is all just another creepypasta. It is such a fascinating concept to me, and the story involved with it is scary even knowing full well that this is likely total fiction. The very idea of the Backrooms speaks to the very essence of the things that terrify us the most. The fear of being lost, the fear of being trapped, and the fear of being watched and hunted. Psychologically, it checks all the boxes for me. It's also worth noting that there are still those who have claimed to have actually been there. They see it in their dreams and stay trapped there till they wake up. And they swear up and down that this place truly is real. Now, a nightmare like that is extremely possible to have, so perhaps this place does exist somewhere within our dreams. I mean, when I saw this picture, it was so recognizable to me.
I thought it was a Motel 6.
I've never even heard this story before. It's really something that I can't explain. Just something about this picture feels so nostalgic to me. So who knows, maybe I've been there in my dreams before too. But real or fake,
it's creepy to think
out of
about.
all the horrors out there are few fates worse than finding yourself in the Backrooms.
Oh my God.